Everyone makes 9mm carry sound easy until it's 3 months later and you're sweating through your shirt, praying and nobody notices that bulge at the gas station. Personally, I've checked the forums, the YouTube reviews, the slick ad copy, all of it selling confidence like it comes in the box. But real carry? It's the stuff nobody brags about. Holsters that print through every shirt you own, triggers that feel different the second you actually need them, and trusted guns that choke when your hands are shaking. Forget the highlight reels. This is about the traps that actually cost people money, trust, sometimes even their safety. And yeah, even the pistols everyone swears by have blind spots, ones I learned about the hard way. Stay to the end because I'm saving the most expensive lesson for last. The one nobody admits until it's too late. Let's get real about what's hiding under your waistband. You know the P10C crowd, always talking about how flat it shoots, how the grip fills your hand just right, and they're not lying. First few trips to the range, I was right there with them. Fast strings, dead center groups, confidence through the roof, felt like a pistol you could trust. No hesitation. So I started carrying it all weekend, no issue. Monday, fine. But Tuesday morning, I'm getting out of the car, same holster, same belt, and suddenly the weight just sets in. 8 hours in, you feel every ounce. Not a dramatic ache, just this low, nagging grind. Funny thing is, you keep making excuses. Maybe the holster shifted. Maybe it's the belt. Maybe you just slept wrong. Anything but the gun. That's the part nobody talks about. On paper, it's the perfect size, but the real world says otherwise. You start leaving it at home more and more, but you never say it's the gun's fault. Some days I wonder if that's being honest or just stubborn. Last summer, I took the Max 9 out for a run, mag after mag, sweat down my neck, and not a single hiccup. Felt like I'd finally landed a budget pistol that actually delivered. On the range, squared up and calm, everything worked. Light in the hand, fast on target, confidence high. That stuck around longer than it should have, but concealed carry isn't a range drill, easy to carry anywhere, until you realize shootability and confidence don't grow with convenience. I wore it everywhere. Felt clever, but a packed grocery lot snapped me out of it. Some guy gets too close, I go for the draw, and that slim grip, the one that made it disappear under a t-shirt, made my whole hand feel lost. Slipped, fumbled, trigger felt off. Long practice sessions started turning into work. The trigger, so clean on day one, started to feel spongy when nerves set in. That slim grip might help hide the gun, but it exposes recoil flaws fast. My hand would tense up, even dry firing at home, always second-guessing if I'd grab it right. Thing is, the more you practice, the more that doubt creeps in. And thinking the next upgrade will fix it? That headache's a whole new story. I was driving my old truck down Slaughter Lane, just like any other night. The Canik MC9 was riding at my side, didn't even notice it at first. Too busy thinking about dinner and traffic. About 30 minutes in, I stopped caring about red lights or slow drivers and started thinking about the gun. Not comfort, distraction. Every bump made me question if the grip was digging in, if the holster had shifted, if anyone could see it printing when I leaned out the window. Pretty soon, every stoplight became a mental check. My hand would hover wondering, would I really reach it fast if I needed to? Is it sitting right? Or would I fumble the draw? That confidence you feel in the shop or on the range, gone. Instead, it's this quiet loop in your head, making you doubt if you're actually prepared or just fooling yourself. You will never heard people to say how a gun you trust on the counter can turn into a distraction you carry in your head all day. Ever had a drive where the pistol on your hip felt louder than the radio? That's a problem most folks will never admit out loud. Carrying the VP9 felt routine. Same spot, same belt, nothing fancy. But then came one of those brutal Texas afternoons where every shirt feels glued to your back. Nobody warns you how different a gun feels when it's soaked in sweat. The grip that always felt solid at the shop, suddenly it's rubbing raw, texture digging in deeper with every mile. Weight that never mattered at the range starts dragging on your hip, making every step a little more work. I kept fidgeting, adjusting, hoping the next stoplight would give me a break. Red spots showed up by dinner. By the end of the day, it was clear. Shooting comfort doesn't mean carry comfort, not when sweat turns confidence into distraction. Next morning, I left the VP9 on the dresser and picked up my old lightweight. Didn't say anything, just made the swap. Figured it'd be for a day or two at most. But that day turned into a week before I even realized it. And just when you think a lighter gun solves it, the next pick brings a problem I never thought I'd have to deal with, especially on the days when you need trust the most. I already knew the problem, but still, sometimes you've got to get it into the mess yourself. Last July, heat cranked up. I carried the PDP Compact every single day for a week. Snappy recoil wasn't news. That's baked in for its size, but I kept telling myself it wasn't a deal breaker. What bugged me was the tall slide. Looks minor until you catch your own reflection and wonder if everyone else is seeing it print under your shirt. That aggressive grip feels incredible at the range, but clothing, sweat, and movement turn it into a raw patch on your side. By Friday, I'd gotten used to adjusting my shirt and ignoring the red marks. Just to shake things up, I switched to another pistol for one day. That was all it took. Suddenly, I knew exactly what I've been tolerating all week. Every rough edge and awkward bulge. Sometimes it just takes a single break from your routine to realize what you've been putting up with. And just when you think you figured out your limits, the next pistol in the lineup finds a brand new way to make you question your choices all over again. Nobody doubts a Glock 19 gets the job done. Hell, that's half the reason it's everywhere. But not everyone wants to drag it around day after damn day. My buddy Gary, he's always swapping carry guns, chasing some perfect solution. For weeks, he kept coming back to the G19, swearing something was off. Thought maybe it was a malfunction. Truth is, the gun runs fine. The problem is, it's just a brick to carry. Bulkier than most folks admit when they talk up their EDC setups. After a while, you start making quiet compromises. Shirt's a size up, pants a little baggier, jacket even when you don't need one. You stand tall, check yourself in the mirror, looks clean. But then Gary turned sideways, and I saw it plain as day. Grip printing right through, zero chance of blending in. That's when concealment stops being a theory and starts being a daily hassle. The Glock 19 never fails, but sometimes the safe bet wears you down in ways nobody brags about. Living with it is a hell of a lot harder than anyone on a forum wants to admit. Last Halloween, I found myself killing time at a gun shop in Fort Worth, figuring I'd get some updates on what was actually selling. Instead, I ended up cornering the guy behind the counter about the Hellcat Pro, just asked him flat out what complaints he hears. He laughed and said, "Capacity's great until people feel it on their belt all day. More rounds, more weight, more sag." I knew exactly what he meant. Nobody online ever brags about adjusting their holster for hotspots halfway through a workday. He said the same folks come in raving about the full feeling grip, then return weeks later, saying the recoil's snappier than they expected, especially when stress is up. Funny how a gun that feels perfect at the counter can start biting back once you're actually carrying it. Great size for hiding, sure, but it's a handful to shoot fast when your hands are sweaty and your nerves are up. People love to talk up capacity and specs, but not the trade-offs. Extra rounds that end up digging into your side, grip that goes from secure to sore after a few hours. Some lessons you only feel after the shine wears off and the real weight sets in. Every good thing's got a catch, and the Shield Plus is no exception. On paper, it looks like a genius move. Short grip, slim build, easy to carry, disappears under just about anything. But the first time I ran a long practice session with it, that grip started to wear me down. Soreness, slipping, and by the end, every mag felt like a little bit of payback. That's the thing most folks don't admit. This gun's less forgiving when you're tired. The grip that makes it so easy to hide will punish you when your hands are slick or weak, especially if you're running drills back to back. Easy to conceal, yeah, but harder to keep control of when it matters most. That gap never makes it into the sales pitch, but you sure feel it at the range and under pressure. The first time I chalked it up to bad luck. The second, maybe I wasn't focused. But when the same fumble shows up a third time, you stop trusting your excuses. What bothers me is I still reach for the Shield Plus sometimes. It makes sense on paper. It disappears. It behaves right up until my hands are tired or slick. And then it reminds me why I hesitated in the first place. It never failed me outright. It just keeps asking more from me when I've got less to give. And once you notice that pattern, it doesn't really go away. When I first started looking at the X-Macro, I asked my range instructor what he thought. He didn't even blink. Just called it overhyped shit, nothing else. Still, I had to see for myself. Truth is, the gun shoots better than most folks expect. But carrying it day after day, that's when you start seeing the little problems add up. Standing, the X-Macro feels great. Comfortable, balanced, damn near perfect on the hip. But as soon as you sit, the grip length starts showing through shirts and jackets, printing harder than you'd ever guess from the specs. The slim slide, so easy to tuck away, snaps quick with hotter ammo, and makes follow-up shots feel a bit more lively than you'd like. It carries bigger than expected, even as it shoots small. My instructor kept telling me it would get better, softer, easier. Truth is, it never did. I just got better at ignoring the quirks. Until one day, he called me out on it again, and I realized I'd been making excuses. I can't say it's a bad gun, not by a damn sight. But the problem he pointed out, absolutely right. Don't be surprised by what's coming next. You're not going to believe it. Some gun designs fool you up front. The PX4 Storm Compact felt great for months. Standing, walking, moving around, no drama. But comfort has a way of changing on you when you least expect it. One afternoon, I sat down wrong in a packed diner, and suddenly, every edge of that pistol announced itself. The grip poked. The thicker slide pressed against my side, and all at once I was hyper-aware, checking my shirt, shifting in the seat, wondering if anyone else could see what I felt. It's not just the size. That extra thick slide makes concealment a whole new game, especially if you end up twisting, leaning, or sitting for long. The controls and SA transition, fine if you're used to them, turn every draw and reholster into a mental checklist. If you're not, I caught myself fumbling, hesitating, running my thumb along the safety for reassurance. That's not something you pick up on the range, but in those weird, awkward moments that only show up when nobody's watching. The lesson with the PX4 didn't come fast or loud. It crept in slow, comfort fading, habits changing, until one day I realized the problem wasn't obvious until I'd lived with it a long while. Before the comments start, yeah, there's one more that deserves mention. Not because it's a bad gun, but because it catches folks off guard after a few months of real carry. A while back, I spent a Saturday bouncing between errands with the 43X MOS, feeling pretty smug. Comfortable on the hip, disappeared under a t-shirt, didn't give it a second thought most of the day. Then I hit a busy diner for lunch. Sliding into that vinyl booth, I felt the grip catch my shirt and suddenly saw the outline printing clear as day. Quick glance around, who noticed, who didn't? It's that moment you realize grip length doesn't care how carefully you dressed, the right move at the wrong time, and everyone gets a peek. And it's not just sitting, that slim slide that feels great standing still. Fire off a few boxes of hotter ammo, and you'll feel it snap. Makes follow-ups a little more lively than you'd want in a carry piece. I used to jump in and defend the 43X MOS online, telling everyone why it was the perfect balance. Now, after enough little moments like this, I just stay quiet. Sometimes not arguing is the real confession. Standing still, the 43X MOI is a champ, but bending, sitting, reaching, those everyday moves, that's where the doubts creep in and all the online talk falls away. Nobody tells you the truth about concealed carry up front. It's trial, error, and a long list of regrets. Most folks just keep theirs quiet, so drop your worst 9mm mishap in the comments. Maybe you'll save the next guy from learning the same lesson sideways. If you're still convinced your setup is perfect, double check. There's always a catch, and it's never where you expect. Don't get comfortable, don't trust the hype, and don't think your favorite pistol is safe from the next big mistake. Concealed carry isn't a finish line. It's a daily fight to stay honest. I'm Steve, and if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the mess never really ends. Stay sharp. I'll see you on the firing line, or knee-deep in the next problem none of us saw coming.